Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisrael. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu, may God continue to protect our brave soldiers and agents and grant them victory and strength. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu watch over every Jew wherever they may be. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Baruch Chaim ben Mordechai, Edward ben Ephraim, Shlomo ben Edward, and Yerachmiel Daniel ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the Refuah Shalema of Reuven ben Racholea, Benjamin ben Tova, Raphael ben Mazal, and Orna Basili. May they have a complete and speedy recovery. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Vayikra, Beyond Clear Lines. Our Torah portion, Parshas Vayikra, begins Sefer Vayikra, the third book of the Torah, also known as Taras Kohanim. This book of the Torah focuses on the sacred service performed by the Kohanim, by the priests and the Levites, the Levim, in the Mishkan and later in the Beis Mikdash, establishing the foundation of how the Jewish people draw close to God through structured service and through the korban, the sacrifices given in the Mishkan and in the Beis Mikdash. Parshas Vayikra opens up with the first time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaks to Moshe Rabbeinu from within the Mishkan. And from this place of holiness, God teaches Moshe Rabbeinu the laws of the korbanos, the sacrifices, the offerings brought on the Mizbeach, on the altar, each one expressing a different form of connection between man and God. The Torah describes several types of korbanos, of sacrifices. The oila, the offering completely consumed by fire, solely for God, honoring God. The chatas, a sin offering brought to atone for an unintentional transgression. The shlamim, a voluntarily peace offering, was brought to express gratitude and shared between those who bring it and with the kohanim to eat it. And the asham was a guilt offering brought in situations of doubt, where a person is uncertain whether they have committed a sin or committed a transgression. However, a question comes to mind. As mentioned, the asham is unlike other korbanos, other sacrifices. It is brought even when a person is unsure if they have sinned. The Torah describes a case where someone may have violated a mitzvah, a commandment, but does not know if it is certain, and therefore he is still required to bring a korban, a sacrifice. But why does the Torah still require an atonement for uncertainty? If a person is unsure they have sinned, why must they still bring this asham offering, this korban, to God? Rashi, Rav Shlomo Yitzchaki, the leading Torah commentary, gives us a simple explanation. And he writes that even when a person is unsure if they have sinned, the very fact that they have entered a situation of suffix, of doubt, carries weight. The pasuk writes, "V'layada," he doesn't know, and therefore va'asham, he must bring the korban asham. And this is teaching us that even without certainty, a person bears a level of guilt. This is because a person is expected to live with awareness, ensuring that they don't come close to committing a sin, heaven forbid. When a person finds themselves in a situation of suffix, of doubt, it reveals that something was lacking in their awareness. Even without certainty, the Torah views this state of suffix as doubt as significant. The asham is not only about the possible avera, about the possible sin. It is about the fact that the person came close enough to doing wrongdoing that doubt could even arise. However, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem and Lushnerson, gives us a deeper and more profound explanation. And the Rebbe writes that the asham is not only about the act or the doubtful act itself, but it's about the standard expected of a yid, of a Jew. The Torah is not only concerned whether a sin, whether a transgression was committed, but it is concerned about the inner state that allows this uncertainty to take root. The asham and the offering of the asham teaches us that a Jew is not only defined by his actions, but by the level of awareness and sensitivity that guides those actions. A person can go through life focused only on what is clear outcomes, clear actions, and only measuring themselves by what is certain. And if they ask themselves if they have committed a sin, they say no, and they feel no need to reflect any further. The Torah introduces us a different way of thinking through the asham. One does not need to ignore uncertainty, but rather he confronts it. And even in a state of suffix, a state of doubt, demands attention. It demands a response because it reflects the deeper level of a Jew on his responsibility. We are meant to live so aware that even the possibility of distance, of disconnection from God, is not something that can be overlooked. The Rebbe explains that this is why the Asham is so unique. It is not brought, it is not given for what is known, but for what is uncertain. The Torah is shaping a person whose conscience does not ignore ambiguity, but responds to it with honesty and with growth. When a person feels doubt, when they feel suffix, they are not meant to dismiss it, but to use it as a moment of reflection and a moment of realignment. And it is in that uncertainty that a person reveals who they truly are and how deeply they are willing to commit themselves to remaining connected to God. The Rebbe's profound lesson about the Asham is ever more relevant in a time where uncertainty, where lack of transparency have become the norm. While it may seem that with the constant access to information, truth should be easier to recognize. But the opposite is often true. The flood of information, together with the rise of AI, has added confusion to an already complex world. Clarity is no longer assumed, it must be pursued. And in such a reality, how a person responds to uncertainty reveals who they truly are. It shows what they rely on, where they turn to when things are unclear. And a Jew is not meant to be shaped by confusion, but to anchor themselves into what is constant and unchanging, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, His Torah, His mitzvahs, for they remain the constant truth. When everything around us becomes unclear, holding to that truth is what defines us and allows us to stand with clarity even in this crazy world of doubt. In our daily life, it is imperative to realize that we live in a world that rewards speed over awareness, that rewards reaction over reflection. We are constantly pushed to move quickly, often without considering the impact of our words than the impact of our decisions. When we slow down, think clearly, and act with intention, we develop a level of precision that sets us apart. We notice what others miss and respond with intention instead of impulse, and we build trust, we build clarity and influence over time. And we are no longer shaped by our environment, we begin to shape it. And that level of awareness positions us to succeed far beyond what we ever thought possible. There's a profound quote that I once read. I think it's attributed to Winston Churchill. In moments of certainty, anyone can appear disciplined. Only in doubt that a man proves what governs him. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos.
Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.